What's going on, YouTube? It's your backyard gardener, and today is August the 28th, 2013. Happy gardening, everybody, and happy Tuesday. Today I'm in the garden just taking a walk through because basically it has been in the 90s, feeling like the hundreds. Humidity has been high here, and everything is just super dry. So I came out to the garden early this morning um, to kind of water everything in before the heat started. And I've been out here for about an hour now, and already I'm starting to feel the heat come. So I just wanted to give you guys a little update on the figs. Now and not just the figs, but the garden itself. About a week ago, not quite a week yet, I did the fish emulsion, the fish fertilizer, and I fertilized everything. And what it has done, other than the growth, it has also brought the greenery back into my plants, because some of them was looking a little crazy. But to all the gardeners out there, especially if you're a beginning gardener, or not even a beginning gardener, hobby gardener, whatever, the fish fertilizer that I've been speaking about since the season came, you really want to try to get some of that in your life. It has done great for me. I just harvested all of my okra, and I gave this a hit of fertilizer, and look, it's coming back. Even more okra. It's popping up. Now this is my crimson spineless okra, and I'm telling you, this is a variety that I will grow every single year, because it is definitely a keeper. It has a good flavor to it. It's very productive okra. Some of the things also that I'll be growing pretty much every year will be my sweet potato bed. Now, we don't really harvest those. I'm going to let those go probably to late September. So I'm going to give that a few more months. Next year I plan on, now those are my Georgia Jet sweet potatoes, which is a variety, my second time growing that variety. And I like it because it's super sweet and it's delicious. I mean, even as just cutting up raw, it's good. It's a good sweet potato. This is something that I also will be growing every year, is my Georgia Jet sweet potatoes. What I'm learning about, and I always do my bell peppers, my red and my yellow bell peppers. This year, these bell pepper plants have become so productive that I should have probably thinned them out, because I mean, look at this, guys. Clusters. I got a little bud, but just clusters. But like I said, I think these are a different variety than what I normally grow. I think these are like some big birther ones, these red ones. And I normally do Wonder Bells. And these are, I think, true to its variety, which is my Wonder Bell. And these are going to turn an orange or a yellow. I always grow, there's another. I always grow my banana peppers. It's also an easy pepper to grow. These are the sweet banana peppers, not the hot banana peppers. So this is also something that I will continuously always have in my garden. This is like my 4th, 5th year growing these, along with these bell peppers. So they're very easy to grow. You can container grow them. You can in-ground grow them. Also, I dedicated a whole bed over there to my purple passion asparagus, and I'm looking forward to those this uh, spring of next year. That's something that I will continue to have in my garden, and I'll probably expand it with green asparagus by doing another bed, since I'm expanding this gate over. This tree, thanks to the fish fertilizer, is doing excellent. It's growing really, really, really well, along with all of my fruit trees. And I get the majority of my fruit trees, I purchase them from Stock Brothers Nursery. I have not been disappointed with Stock Brothers Nursery. Actually, last week, I'm sorry, I kind of cost Stock Brothers about my little nectarine tree that I bought. The last one, I believe that's a nectarine tree. And I told them, I said, it's not looking good. It's smaller than any tree I ever purchased. I'm not sure what's going on with it. What can you do? They said we can refund you your money, or we can credit you, or we can send you another tree in the spring. I said, well, I tell you what, give me a credit and I'll figure out, what I want to do by the time spring comes. And that's the second credit that I've gotten from Stock Brothers, because one of my sweet cherry tree died last year. They also replaced it. And these are my grapevines, and they're starting to take off. Over there, that cherry tree is maintaining and doing great. Right on the other side of this gate is my other cherry tree, sweet cherry. So everything is producing well. I mean, I cannot complain. Now on these figs, just look at this. They're not going to make it this season to full maturity. I doubt it very seriously if they do, because we're so late in the season. But this fall goal right here is a very productive. I've moved some of my figs around. Look at this. This one I let go too far. I missed it. But this is such a productive. I know I'm all over the place, but I'm telling you, this okra, if you're an okra eater, crimson spineless is the way to go. Back over on these figs. The Cadota had gave me figs the beginning of the year, but they fell off. And sometimes that happened because this is a young tree. But what I'm looking at is on this, how dark my branches is getting. And they're not green cuttings. I like that because when they go dormant, I can possibly take some cuttings from it, because I'm not going to air layer, it's too small. But I could take some cuttings from it and over the winter just grow a whole nother tree. So the things that I want to narrow down in my garden, because it is so getting crowded, I want to narrow it down to the things that I absolutely like, I absolutely love. And my tomatoes will always be here. The fall garden and my spring garden, I'll do my sugar snap peas and my lettuces. But things that I expect to be here every year that I'm gardening will be my tomatoes, my peppers, my asparagus, my fruit trees, my cherry trees, my raspberry bushes. I took my heritage raspberry out. And I'll buy another one because I like the heritage raspberry bush, because the heritage raspberry bush gives you 2 crops, one in midsummer and then in the fall. And it's very productive on first year cane growth. And you can't beat that. So I'm a fan of that. Whereby the Cambay raspberry bush, I didn't get my berries until the second year growth on the canes. And I'm looking at some of these figs plants. Some of them on the first year growth are producing figs. And that's awesome because that means next year I'm really going to get an abundance. Now this one in front of me, this is Olympia. This has a braver crop and the main crop. This one was a tissue culture. I can't think of the name of the company that I got it from. If it come to me, I'll put the name below. It wasn't a cutting, so I guess they grew it from seed. It didn't do anything when I first got it, but once I got it out here, this year it has taken off with growth, and I'm really satisfied, but I really don't expect figs. I'll be lucky if I get a fig off of this for next year. But so some things you have to be patient in, and you have to know your variety. You just can't jump out there with these figs. You have to know your variety. You have to know if they're early variety that fruits early, which is like in August, or some even comes out the end of July. You have to know if it's a late, and then you have to know, take into consideration your climate, where you're at. Now I'm up north, zone 6B. Our summers is not as long as California and Texas and all the southern states, Alabama. But it could be long enough to produce figs on some of them. And I have to figure out which ones is going to be successful and which ones are not. And the thing about having the greenhouse is that I get to extend my season and jumpstart my season as well. Over here, remember that one that I'm looking for it, that B&B has sent me from Seattle Gardening. I'm trying to find it. Oh, here it is over here. That thick fat cutting. If you go back to the videos where we were doing cuttings, this is that same one, and it's beautiful. It got a caterpillar on there, and it even producing figs. It had a bigger fig, but see right there, that fig. So this is an Italian 258, which is an excellent tasting fig from what I'm hearing. Also the green Ishia, that's one of them. But then over here, this tall one right there, the black pot, that's also a green Ishia. So it's like they are producing figs next year to be better, because that wood will be even aged even more. And hopefully I'll have a lot of figs to show you. But unfortunately this year, even though they're producing figs, they're not going to produce enough for my season. Is not going to be long enough because they came out a little too late. So next year I'll try to do what I can to jumpstart my season even faster. My peach tree, the Red Haven over there, I'm going to tell you, the peaches that I ate this year, not off of that tree, because I just got that this spring, but the Red Haven peaches that I ate this year from the farmers around here at the you pick, you buy type of farms that I've been going through up north are absolutely delicious. And I can't wait till my tree start to produce its peaches as well. So I just wanted to come out this morning, put up a little video about the things that I'm definitely going to keep in my garden. Oh, let me show you one more thing. If you remember the lemon balms, it was just little straggly sticks. If you go back to the video, you'll see them. See how they're producing now? Lemon balm is also something, and someone gave me that off Facebook. I picked it up, and I went a little late. She had already harvested, so she was keeping it soaked in a bag for me. So that's why it looked so bad when she gave it to me. But it's bouncing back. I mean, it's doing really, really well. So again, those are some of the things that I'm going to continue to always have in my garden. And even with the lemon balm, it's a perennial. It's going to come back every year. So same thing with the asparagus. Those are going to come back every year. The fruit trees, those are going to come back every year. And everything does have a growth limit. Like a lot of our fruit trees, that's dwarf varieties and semi-dwarf varieties, those trees are only going to last about 15 years. So you kind of got a concession plan when you know that one is going out, and you'll be able to tell. You put in another one, but I don't see myself having to do that in the next 15 years. That's something I'm not even worried about. I just want them to continue to be healthy and grow, and to continue to grow. I need all the growth I can get this year so that next year my trees are strong enough to hold the fruit that I want. If they're not strong enough to hold the fruit that I want, then I'm not going to let them produce the fruit. I'm going to have to snap them off, because I don't want my limbs or my tree to snap in half and lose everything. So what I'll do is just snap them off and just let it continue to take its growth on for another year. But anyway, this is your backyard gardener saying good morning to everybody. I'd like to thank all my new subscribers whose names are here. And I have two channels that I'm going to shout out, and their names will be here. And I'm going to put the two channels in the description box. And I want you guys to go over there and check out those channels, because if I'm shouting them out, it's something unique about them, and it's something that I like about them. Again, happy gardening, everybody.